Father Rehill, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shawn. Good to be here.
It's an honor to have you here. I've been really looking forward to this for a long time. But so before every show, not everyone, but we like to do a little warm up if we have time. And people are infatuated with what other people are carrying to protect themselves. And usually this segment is somebody like me who's been in the military, very familiar around guns, but I thought this would be a very unique opportunity for something different. And you conduct exorcisms in the Middle Tennessee area, and so I thought I'm fascinated, and I would love to know when you go on an exorcism, what are you carrying with you to protect yourself?
Well, I do take bodyguards in the practical, natural setting. This is the weapon, the rosary, my number one weapon. But holy water. I have a relic of the Cave of St. Michael, which you're now familiar with. And I take a piece of the true cross that Christ died on. Those are my main sacramentals that I go in with. And
what do you mean a piece of the original cross?
So the actual cross he died on, I have a piece of it that's in a special reliquary within it's like a crucifix with a secret compartment. You would love it. It's very...
Where did you get that?
I got that from a bishop in Rome many years ago.
That is... I mean, why did you... That's such a sacred possession. Why was it given to you?
There's no way to answer that. Back maybe 20 years ago, it was much easier to get relics. Now they're all kind of monitored, and there's checkpoints to go through. There's a bunch of nuns that actually control who gets what. It's very difficult now. That is almost impossible to get unless you're a bishop. But I had a bishop that took a liking to me, and I also had a bunch of relics from a priest in Poland that was dying that wanted to give me his relics when I was on a trip over there. So I've gotten them a few different ways. I also have a glove of Padre Pio. Do you know who Padre Pio is?
I don't.
So he's a saint that died really not too long ago, I think in 1968. He was an Italian friar who had incredible gifts. So he could read your soul. He could see your sins just from looking at you. He could be in two places at the same time by locate. He levitated. He glowed. He had the wounds of Christ on his hands, his feet, and his side, and they bled constantly. So he always wore these gloves. And a Chicago guy, back probably about almost close to 80 years or so now, or more, he had a great devotion to this priest. So he sent him a lot of money to help build this hospital he was building in Italy. And a bishop reached out to him to thank him and said, is there anything Padre Pio can pray for you? And this guy, he was a big beer distributor for all of Chicago. He said, yeah, you can pray for my family, but tell him I need one of those gloves of his. And the bishop's like, that's never going to happen. But he's like, just pass it on, see what happens. And he did send him a glove through the bishop, and he gave the glove to the family. And he died eventually. His two daughters were sharing it 6 months a year, and then one of them died. And then this lady who had the glove came to Mass one day, and I was preaching on Padre Pio, and she heard a voice say, give him the glove. And she was like, I really don't want to do that. It's a family heirloom. And the Lord said, give him the glove. So she met me after Mass and said, I have something the Lord wants me to give you. And she shared the whole story. And then the next week she came back and gave me the glove. So They come in strange ways, is my point. Yeah.
Wow. So you have the rosary, the piece from the original cross that Jesus was crucified on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was
the stone from St. Michael's Cave?
The stone from St. Michael's Cave. Can you describe that? Why is that powerful?
So back around the year 430, there was a farmer out hunting, and he was chasing this bull, and the bull went into this cave in Italy. It's a place called Gargano, Italy. It's very close to where Padre Pio was, maybe 20 miles. And he shot the arrow at the bull going in the cave, and the arrow turned around and came out and shot him in the arm. And he was like, okay, so that cave is possessed. There's something bad. So he went to the bishop. He said, this is what happened to me in this cave. I shot an arrow and it came back and shot myself. Didn't really wound me, just flesh wound, but you should go exercise that cave. So the bishop decided he'd pray and fast for 3 days before he goes to this cave. And then when he goes to the cave, he steps in, and there St. Michael appears to him, and he's standing on this big stone in the middle of the cave. And he says, I want you to turn this cave into a church in honor of me, and I will protect the people of your region. And I'm St. Michael the Archangel. And he left his footprint on that stone. So the bishop did this, and he put in the things he needed to put in, but basically the cave was situated in such a way that it made kind of a perfect layout for a church. It's huge. And fast forward to the Middle Ages, when the plague came, St. Michael appeared to the bishop of that era and said, tell the people to go to the cave and take a stone. Everybody who has a stone will be protected from the plague, the Black Death. And it was one of the only towns in Italy where nobody got sick. So he's promised through the years that people who take these stones, he will personally watch over and protect them and their families. If they exhibit some faith. It's not magic. It's not magic at all.
Interesting.
So there's that, and then the exorcism salt and the holy water.
What does the salt do?
The salt it's like burning oil on a demon. They can't take it. It's just pure pain. And so you put that in the holy water, and it kind of bolsters the holy water up to like high octane.
Interesting. So you put the salt into the holy water.
Yeah.
What is it about salt and demons? Is there a reason?
I don't know. I mean, we've always had blessed salt for, probably as long as the church has been around. Salt, of course, was so valuable back 2,000 years ago because it basically preserved meats. It did everything. No salt, no food. Basically, your food would perish. So the salt has been important. But then when you put the blessing on it, it now has an added layer of protection, and the demons can't stand it. And then when you put it into the holy, it's part of the rite of making holy water, if you make it properly. It, like I said, it makes it into this, it's almost like fire. When it hits somebody who's possessed, they scream as though they're being burned.
Wow. Well, Father, I got a gift for you. I'm excited to do this.
Okay.
So I got a buddy over at a company called Sig Sauer. They make some of the world's best firearms, especially handguns. And my buddy Jason over there, he loves this subject. And
really?
Yeah, and he wanted me to give this to you.
Thank you very much.
Protect yourself with. You can open it up if you want. And so, yeah, I am very pleased to give you the Sig P365.
Can I take it out?
Absolutely. It's safe. There's no rounds in there.
Okay.
Holds 21 rounds in the magazine and one in the pipe. It's got that optic on there. That's the latest and greatest.
Is it?
It is. And so...
it looks like a very Exorcist-looking gun. It's black.
I don't know if that's going to do anything to demons.
No, I would not take this into an exorcism, but thank you. You'll have to, we're going to talk about this off camera. You can give me the lowdown on what I need to be doing with this.
Perfect.
Because I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about guns.
I will.
In fact, when you first reached out to me or your team, I said, I don't really know who this guy is because I'm not into the worldly stuff so much. Time is limited. Somehow my brother found it. He goes, are you kidding me? He's like the hottest thing in the world right now. You have to go. So I looked you up somewhere, and all I saw were hunting videos.
Hunting videos?
It looked like hunting videos.
I used to review firearms.
But maybe it wasn't you. So the only thing I got to is this page, and there's a guy hunting in the woods with a silencer. And I go, who hunts with a silencer? Is he hunting people? Who is this guy? And then I reached out and said, I think I'm the wrong person. And your staff got back and said, no, you're the right person. It's just, it's fine. He definitely wants you. So I said, okay. But yeah, and I looked to find that video today, and it's nowhere. There's nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a hunter.
Okay.
But
me neither.
But I used to review firearms, so maybe that's it. But I am curious. So when you get on location, What do you do with the items that you bring to protect yourself during an exorcism?
Well, there's a lot that goes into it beforehand. So I celebrate Mass for the victim beforehand. We fast the night before on just water. We do preparatory prayers to surround the room with God's angels and silence and basically make any demons present completely unable to contact each other or move against us. And so they're kind of made immobile, and they just, if they're there, they can't do anything. And then when we get there, the room gets sprinkled with the salt, with the water. I use the relics on the actual victim. I'll bless them. I'll put the glove on the person's forehead. I will take the cross and put it on their back as I'm praying prayers over them. And you can see as you're doing it what they really hate, and what they really find horribly offensive and painful. But all those things always have that effect. I've got other relics too, though. It's on occasion I'll have something with me, and I'll just on a whim maybe pull out a relic and see what they think of it. They don't like any of the saints, to be honest, but there's certain things that they really can't stand.
So each exorcism that you perform, every demon inside of somebody, they respond different to different things?
Yeah, it's not a science. And the reason is that every individual person is unique in their own way, from their experience, their background, their history, their DNA. Then you also have every demon is almost unique in their own way. St. Thomas Aquinas says that every angel is in itself a species, if you can imagine that. It's like insane. So depending on what group of demons is affecting that person, and that person being different from you and from me and from him, it's always a little different. But there's also generalities, like they always hate certain things. They don't like, when Our Lady is present, when we feel her presence in the room, that's the most painful part of the exorcism for them. They cannot stand her.
Interesting. We'll get into this stuff in the actual interview.
Okay.
But thank you for the warm-up.
Sure.
And,
Thank you.
We'll get into the interview. I appreciate it.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.